Hello everyone and welcome to another information video. This time it is another video CA has released, and it is the Empire walkthrough for the campaign. Now it was just a short video, and when you're not paying attention to the little fine details, there's not a huge amount of information in it. But when you are paying attention to the fine details, there is some nice information in here. The biggest change that I have noticed in it is the garrison. We get a chance to see how large the garrison is for Altdorf when it's fully upgraded, and it is huge. It gets like, I'd say it's roughly half a stack of elite units to defend Altdorf. Now that is a huge difference from what we've seen before, and that was just from the one building, the main settlement chain, and we know there is a defensive building chain too, so it's possible to get really good defensive armies without even having an army there. The cost and upkeep with a general leading it, kind of thing, like the traditional Total War army. Another change, well not a change, another thing that I've seen people talking about is ward saves. There was actually a point in the video where we seen ward save. Now this was something that I was not expecting to see in game. I was expecting it to be just in the tabletop and that's it. What ward saves are is if someone has a magical sort of barrier or a magical amulet, something that would save him from damage, and that was a ward save in Warhammer. You had your armor save and your ward save. Now in this, ward saves is just a straight damage reduction. So if something comes at you with 100 damage and your ward save is 20, you only get 80 damage. And so ward saves against something like a cannon, it's not going to do a lot, but against things like a goblin, things with large ward saves are going to be almost immune to like units like goblins. And maybe that's how they're going to do ethereal units. They'll just have large ward saves. Who knows. Wait, also, just so you know, also the video you're seeing, the turn is 71 turns in for the video you are seeing in the background. Now we also seen offices, that's how they called it, the offices, which looks like it's something unique for Empire, and it looks like it works a lot like our positions we've had since Total War Shogun, where you could make someone your Master at Arms, you can make someone your Treasurer. It seems to be a lot of that sort of stuff, and it'd give them some buffs, and it'd give your faction some buffs and stuff like that. Something else that I noticed in this, which is huge and nice, but we've not really seen in Total Wars before, is you can now rename your legendary, not your legendary lords, your lords and your heroes. So you can now rename your people as well, like your agents and your generals, not just your armies. That is nice. People have been asking for that for ages, and it's finally been implemented. You can't rename your legendary lords for obvious reasons, but you can rename them. And the last little tidbit, which I found really interesting from this playthrough, is the fact, well, I've got something else I'm going to talk about in a second, but it was the Empire's building tech tree. Now here we can see it, and it's got all the different buildings the Empire can get. Well, all the different buildings that unlock techs. So you've got to have this building before you get that tech, can get research that tech. And different, like the blacksmith can help you research better armor, whereas the troop recruitment buildings, you get stuff like that standardization for your infantry, which make them a wee bit better. And something that I want to just make a note on is he did have his secondary legendary lord Balthazar Gelt in this campaign video, and it is only 70 odd turns in, so that does confirm that you get them a wee bit early. It looks like he's just got Gale, so we're not really sure if it's a time, like you need to do 70 turns then you can get your secondary legendary lord, or what. But we do see him. Now moving on, I keep saying this is the last thing I want to talk about from this video, but we did get to see something in video format we've only seen in screenshot format. Now we know how Chaos Corruption works. It slowly, well, we know a wee bit about it. It slowly scales up from 0 to 100, and the land sort of changes with it, and it will have effects on the campaign map and on the campaign buildings and the cities and all that around it. But when it gets really high and say the settlement is destroyed, the settlement is replaced by something that looks a bit like a Chaos Portal, and we weren't told anything about it, but we got to see it again. So it'll be really interesting to see what this sort of mechanic is. Chaos obviously don't have settlements, but they are building these sort of portal looking things in the places of the settlements where the Chaos Corruption's high enough and the settlement has been raised. So it's going to be really interesting to see what they actually do. And now moving on to what is not in this video, is we now actually have an image here, which I should be showing you right now, of the starting location for every faction in the game, the playable ones, the non-playable ones, and look at Bretonia. It's exactly like a playable faction the way it's set up. So I'm betting we're getting Bretonia very, very, very early. Everything's pointing that my theories are correct. Bretonia will either be playable at launch or shortly after, and hopefully as a free LC, if not a DLC, and it'll definitely be one worth paying for. So there we go, there we have it folks. A lot of information that is not quite as obvious as normal. So I hope you have all enjoyed this, and I'll see you all next time.